Imagine waking up in the morning, going to work, and not making it home. Imagine being that family of getting a call saying that your 18-year-old son was gunned down by the police. We've seen this time and time again, right? Where a lot of times you don't even make it in front of a judge. A lot of young black males viewed as animals because of a lot of the stuff you see being depicted on your TV, being depicted on your phone, stuff people voluntarily share on their own. They violent. They tear everything up. The animals. This society got to create a bad guy to justify the homicide. Rest in peace to the police officer who lost his life. Rest in peace to the young man who was killed by the police. And to the father who some may say it wasn't right, but I understand. As a dad, what a son. My son about to turn 21. You know, when you have kids, they don't do everything in life that you want them to do, right? You kind of have it mapped out for them. But then they get at the age where they start to rebel. They start to say, hey, take that life in their own hands. And it may have some negative influences, right? And they do what they want to do, whether you agree with it or not, right? But, you know, you was their age before, right? You made mistakes. I know I have. I was the 18-year-old with the gun on me. I have. So looking at this, I just see somebody that was going through a phase, right? It was in a place that one day they would get out of, right? And start making the right decisions. Maybe that incident, if arrested, would have been that time sitting down in prison when things would have changed. That's what happened with me with the gun. Bang, bang. For whatever reason. Sat down and made changes. Thus, I am the man I am today. I made mistakes. A lot of times, because of the way we are viewed, see, look at them. They deserve to die. You can't have nothing with them around. I don't see how they can't do it if we doing it. And I'm not making no excuses for bad behavior, not in 2025, right? But even as a parent and trying to communicate to your kids, right? And it's like they don't understand. They are not hearing you. You're speaking as clear as day. It's like talking to a rock. They are not hearing you, right? But they getting all these social cues from outside. That's where they get the information from. If you're not fortunate enough, and even if you are, to raise your kid in a private school, to have a good neighborhood, good community where everybody reinforces the values, right? And you ain't always got to battle with them when they come from outside and you noticing different behaviors. If you're fortunate enough, which a lot of us not, you're not going to understand. And I'm not sitting here trying to make you understand because you're not. But sitting down, talking to guys who are still in prison and are never getting out, realizing like this is not what I want for my life, right? Got my GED, started reading books, started looking at life different. And no, it wasn't easy after that, right? Got home, it was hard to find a job. Then you start realizing, like, hey, I don't have education, I don't have no work experience. A lot of stuff you can't write on an application. I had to write that I worked in the kitchen in prison as prior work experience. So it wasn't easy, but I had to find a way, right, to become this person I am today, the dad that has a son who wants to steer him from the course of making the same mistakes that I made. He could easily be in a car and have a gun on him, not thinking about shooting the police. They just be trying to get in the way. A lot of times a lot of these young kids, they reach for the hammer, they trying to throw it. Oh, I don't hot potato. They really don't want to go to jail. But what I'm trying to convey is that I had been arrested. I've been arrested a lot, but in that situation, gave me time to think and change my life. Whether you agree with the justice system or not, I sat down and was able to change because guess who didn't kill me? The police.
As we told you earlier, Rodney Hinton Jr. is accused of killing Deputy Larry Henderson one day after his son was killed by a police officer.
This happened just hours after CPD showed Hinton and other family members video of that deadly shooting. And many of you have commented online saying the release of body cam footage in just 24 hours seems rushed, especially for a grieving family. WCPO 9 News reporter Andrew Rowan explains why that timeline is standard protocol for Cincinnati police.
As the chief for the city of Cincinnati and this police department, my commitment is to transparency.
Police Chief Teresa Fiji telling the Buzz radio host Lincoln Ware about the moments she reviewed body camera footage with the Hinton family.
I think like any family member, they were all distraught over what they just saw.
Did he get up abruptly and just walk out of the room, or did he?
He did leave the room, yes.
All of a sudden, he left the room.
Yeah,
okay.
he walked.
Now, again, imagine being that dad. Right or wrong is your kid. It don't matter how officer friendly to you view my kid. Right? It don't matter. That's my kid. I'm watching my kid get gunned down by the police. That police, no, it's not it's a person. That's what dad is thinking, right? My kid getting gunned down. And that's what he watched immediately after it happened. He's furious. He's playing it over and over in his head. He's getting angry. He's hurting, right? And now he want to kill, right? And on the other hand, you got a guy, might have been the best police ever, might have let somebody go, took the drugs, and said, go ahead, stay off this corner. In his 30 years of being a police officer, he probably seen a lot of things. He might have made mistakes, right? He might have made amends, right? Who knows? But what I do know, he got up that morning, probably kissed his wife, right? Walked the dog, looked at his phone, looked at the news, ate breakfast. But he ain't do nothing to nobody in this situation, right? And he's working a graduation or something, right? You know, mind his business. People was in good moods. He don't see it coming. Daddy's furious. He leaves, right? Right after that, he gets in the car. He's hurting. He's punching the steering wheel, and he's driving. I want to kill him. I'm gonna get him. There's no way he could get this police officer back, who, in the eyes of the law, shot him. Good kill, right? That don't matter. All the technical stuff, code statutes, it don't matter in this situation. Maybe, you know, when we all act civilized in society and we all agree upon these things, right? Who said I agree with that when it comes to my kid? So he's driving on crazy. This guy blowing the whistle, hey, come on, you know, working traffic or whatever, right? Waving, hey, stop. You see the lady and her kid is trying to cross the street. Wait a minute, be patient. But this, you know, dad thinking all kinds of things, driving, probably speeding, not even caring because he's grieving. The police this, the police that. He thinking about his whole life. And he sees that officer, and this is where their paths cross. And unfortunately, that officer dies, right? And it gets us to this point here.
Good morning, Mr. Hinton. Good morning. He said good morning, Judge. He's very soft-spoken. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Anything as to probable cause?
Your Honor, we'll waive probable cause this morning. I have submitted designations for John Kennedy and Timothy Bignell. They will be the attorneys of record handling Mr. Hinton's case. I'll be handling the arraignment this morning.
All right, thank you. Mr. Prosecutor, or anything as to bond?
As to bond, Your Honor, thank you. Your Honor, we understand this is a very, very serious, very terrible charge that Mr. Hinton is facing. He has a risk, but he does not have a history, Judge. He has no felonies in his record. Justice sentence was 1. He has no juvenile record. He works at PDF. He's married. He's a father. He's a graduate of Purcell Marion.
Do you see his face when he started? The lawyer started naming all the stuff. He's married. He got his father. He has no record. He made a decision. You know, there's a lot of times we seen the police kill people and we like, yo, rest in peace, Freddie Gray. We see that we've seen the police do some horrendous things. And see, they justify it by not what that young man did, right? By what other people do and what they post. You know, it's a lot of stereotypes that they think black men, and stereotypes go for everybody. Even the police. All police are not bad. All white people are not racist. All black people are not racist or thugs. But that's the way we view people through those eyes. Until they prove us otherwise, a lot of people. But when you're the police, right? And you sent to the inner cities, right? And not just the inner cities, not downtown, right? but the underbelly of society where all the failed policies and the failure of the school system, poverty, we got to survive. We send people who don't even understand that, don't know how to deal with that, to go bust these knuckleheads' heads, right? And the relationship is not officer friendly, right? It's not. And for them, what they see and what we see are two different things. We look at people who on drugs, we know something might have happened and they got hooked, and that's the reason why they're here, standing on the corner. They got addiction and this, that, and the third. If you come from a different community where you don't see none of that, right? That's not a problem. You don't understand that. So you like, yeah. People grabbing you up, making you clear the corners, walk away, you sitting on your steps, you get harassed because the neighborhood you live in, the relationship is different. We view each other a different way. It's not the same. Man, I lost my train of thought, man.
I understand that this is an emotionally charged situation. I understand that Mr. Hinton's son may have been killed by the police earlier in the week. There was a review of that video. I understand that there is a lot of sadness and a lot of anger in this room right now, but in the community at large. And we'll just ask the court to set a reasonable bond in light of everything to allow the constitutional process to play out.
All right, thank you. Andy, you've given me a pre-trial services sheet, is that right? All right, the court has had a chance to review that and his past history. Is there anything from the state through the prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor. Ryan Nelson on behalf of the
Could you
prosecution.
give us more volume, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Ryan Nelson on behalf of the prosecution. What we believe that the evidence will show is that yesterday, on about the 2nd of May, the defendant was traveling, I believe, would be eastbound on Martin Luther King Avenue at MLK, I believe, at Burnett Woods, at the intersection, I believe, immediately north to the rear entrance of the University of Cincinnati. The defendant stops his car. The defendant, in a way that was calculated and premeditated, lined up his car, deliberately accelerated his car, and purposely caused the death of an on-duty deputy sheriff who was doing a detail at that intersection. As such, we are going to be seeking indictment for aggravated murder, and we would request, in accordance with ORC 2937-222, for a no bond hearing.
I got a nephew that's a deputy sheriff. He's only 21. Me and his father, the stuff that we did in these streets, we got another chance, right? We started doing stuff different. We found some careers for ourselves, right? He was able to get his son, raise him, Him and the mom not together. He's married, got a different family, but he got his son, was able to bring him up, got him out of the inner city, went to a different schools, different everything. He still cut a certain type of way, but he ain't that. And when I saw his picture with his police thingy on and all that, even with my background, fuck the police, all that, I was so proud of him. I was so proud of him. Because that's somebody, when he's out there, and he's dealing with people, whether it's in corrections or in the streets, he understands.
That rule requires that that hearing be set within 3 business days, so we are seeking to set that date on the 6th of May of 2025, of next Tuesday.
So the court will now set no bond until Tuesday, when we'll review the statute for a continuing no bond.
So all the police there in support of the officer who was ran down by Rodney, right? I think it was a part when he came out and he was like, "That's my brother." I don't know what was said, but his family had to leave, and of course, the guy who was killed, family was there as well. The deputy sheriff, his family was there as well. This is a sad situation. So, they all in the car chilling, stolen car. I remember back in the day we used to steal cars. We did not even think about somebody working their ass off, right? Getting their credit together, right? Down payment, getting the vehicle, right? Using it to go back and forth to work, right? Keeping the maintenance up, right? Nah, I remember being that dumb. And it wasn't like my idea. It's the environment. Yeah, it's still a car. Okay, we see New Jersey Drive. We had guns and stuff. We just had them for whatever reason. And I remember us getting chased by the police in the police helicopter, getting out running. A lot of times you jump out, you got whatever you got on you. You like you grabbing it, not the like. I'm not saying it was people who we got videos of people pulling their guns out. They ain't just the black dudes and firing on police, right? It's at traffic stops. But we would run with that weapon or what the drugs. But we just chilling. We wasn't thinking about the possibility of just moving the wrong way and getting murdered, right? Because everybody know you're not going to win against the police in no gun battle. They not running scared. They not running with limited ammo. They not trying to get away. You're being hunted in that situation. And they got hella resources. It's a death wish. So, like 2 years ago, I made a video. Young dude got shot by the police, right? 17. He ended up reaching out to me, the mom, and was like, I was fair in the video, right? But you got to be careful, man. You get your opinion. A lot of people ain't gonna like what you got to say. And so, mom sent me additional videos of the police. That same police, a black dude, harassing the young guys or whatever. But in this case, he pulled up on him. Shorty had a gun on him in his book. He had a gun on him. He had drugs in his book bag, gun in his dip. And long story short, to get in the chase, Shorty reached for the gun. We know it wasn't to shoot him, but that's not the training. You can't tell nobody how to think and feel in a split second. All these guys looking for the shot and the kill. It don't matter what color they is. They blue when they out there. Like all them, they blue. So anyway, he shoots the dude. I think he shot him, and he had a shit bag mess his liver up. He ended up surviving. Thank God he was 17. And luckily, the police shot him. Then he got the med kit and all that. He survived. But he was just trying to throw the gun. He was just trying to throw it. Again, I'm not trying to make excuses for what happened. I'm having a gun. They say he didn't even reach for it. But I know how I feel. Try to throw the gun. I've been in this situation. Got locked up for armed robbery when I was 15. We dropped the gun running from the police and went back and picked it up. In the middle of everything. And they wasn't on us, but they was coming, right? That could have been us right there. I was 15. In that second, reaching for that weapon, wow.
These unusual and very
It's easy to get killed.
In terrible circumstances. Where will the defendant be housed, and will he be?
All right, so this the infamous part where everybody
We can hold.
was when he walks out with his head up. Say what you want. I would have had my head up too. I ain't gonna say like I hate the police, but I hate the police that do fuck shit to people, innocent people, right? So now when you see the police, even if it's the right thing to do in certain situations, you're gonna look at them crazy. See that man face? No prior records, no charge. Probably had a good job, married. Saw his son get killed by the police running away. 6 seconds after the police started chasing him. Bang, 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 bang. Before that, 2-3 days before that, he speak to the police at 7-Eleven while he getting his coffee, hold the door for him. Thank you for your service, officer. But watching that video of his son, who he taught how to ride a bike, first day of school, graduating in kindergarten, first report card, everything, get gunned down. And for them, it's paperwork. It's, suspect did this, suspect did that. He had a weapon. And I fired. He pointed his weapon at me and I fired. This is the problem. We are people. That's that man's son. I don't know what I would have did in his situation. I don't know if I would have did that to that sheriff deputy. But I don't know what man in their right mind, what man would go to sleep at night, regardless of whatever, some technicality or some code or some law. Somebody take your kid life. You take my kid life. Somebody gotta go. It's unfortunate to that man's family.
At no bond for 72 hours, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much.
Ain't gonna get to go to the funeral. It's gonna hurt. When he get over his anger, at some point he will. When he process all of this, it could be 15 years, 20 years into the sentence, right? Depends on how long he decides to stay angry. And he's going to regret what he did to that man. Because people grow. But it's not going to take away from the hurt of losing his kid. Because nothing is going to bring him back. And for all the police that don't understand why you see the back and forth in the streets. Because when you respond to these scenes, crime scenes, somebody laid out, a kid caught a stray bullet, right? Shot 7 times in his chest, different things. And you start seeing like different stuff happen in two different neighborhoods, back and forth. And you're like, I don't understand. Remember how y'all felt, how y'all was looking at him, right? Now you understand. Now you understand.